In this tutorial, I'm going to show how I make a 3D model in Rhino and finish it up in Substance Painter and bring it into Unity. I'm going to load a bitmap of these door hinges, because what I want to make is a door hinge in this video. Something pretty simple. And I got this bitmap of some door hinge outlines online. Going to put it on my door area like how I want it to look, and then utilizing not line but the curvy curves. Let's start here on this corner. I'm going to put these points. It's not perfect. I'm going to do zoom in, grab it, and then take the points and pull these points. Gumball's getting in the way. Sometimes it's easier to turn gumball on. It just sometimes gets in the way. And you're going to tweak the points. I got a pretty decent outline there. Okay. I'm gonna do another curved line starting from where I left off there. The last one. And where's the point? Where do we want the point to be? Okay. Now let's take this line, fix it up. Okay. So we've got one edge defined with two curved lines. Going to grab both of those, type in join, joins them together. So this will be easy since it's symmetrical. I'm going to go ahead and just mirror the lines we already created. Okay. There we go. Pretty close. What we want now, I'm going to stretch this line over. Now, I've got a hinge right here. I grab both of those, join them, and I drag this down to where it matches the turning part of the hinge. Draw a line between these 2 points because it's the only open end. I need to match the end points up. Okay. Now I'm going to join those, and that'll give us a closed curve. Alright, now this isn't actually on the door where it's lined up in the front view with the door, but it's not on the door. Now right now it's just 2D outline. So we're going to go to solid, and I'm going to extrude this as a solid. But instead of now I could extrude it straight, but instead I'm going to use tapered. And what that's going to do, as you can see here from the top view, it's going to give us a little bit of a beveled edge. So I got it like I want it. I don't want it very thick. These hinges are not very thick. So, all right. Now we have a solid model of that hinge. Okay. Now I want to position it on my door. Okay, now I'm making this door in parts, so each board for the door is here. I just need to grab this one, grab the hinge, and make sure that it's flush. There we go. Let's take a look. There it is on the door. Okay, but more importantly, it's also for the purposes of my game design. I'm using offsets of Rhino's zero positioning, and I'll come to that later. Right now, I'm going to give this a material and set it to surface UV mapping, and now I'm going to look at the UV mapping to make sure it looks okay. Okay, it looks okay. There's the UV map. I don't really need to hit apply, but whatever. Now it's time to export. Now, I like to use 3DS models when I bring them over into Unity. They seem to export out of Unity and import into Rhino the best for me. But I'm also going to have to do an FPX because Surface Painter, where we're going to put more detail on this, it doesn't support 3DS. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. All right, so when I'm exporting it, I have this simple slider here so I can adjust the geometry or the polygon count and vertices on this thing. And so we want to have something, since it's not like a really important piece, it doesn't have, we want it to have as few polygons as possible. But there's a little bit of an issue. If you can see that curved part there, it's awfully triangulated. And if I bump up the number of polygons, I have to get it up really high, and that's just to get that to look right, and that's just way too many polygons for this type of model. All right, and when I bring it back down, it just looks absolutely awful. You can see right there, that doesn't look like a curve at all. And even in the 3D, it's obvious that's not going to work. So let's go into details. All right, so this is really the only important field in this, is the minimum edge length. But these other things are kind of getting in the way, so we'll zero those out. And now we're going to set this to like 0, 1. Aha. Now, that's better. And if we look at the rest of the model, it has reduced polygons. But we still have our curve here. Okay. Now, like I said, I have to export it to FBX and 3DS, where I'll work on it on the in Unity. I'll use the 3DS model, and in Substance Painter I'll use the FBX. And since we changed the export type, we've got to fix all these here. All right, looks good. Okay, so this part is done in Unity. I mean, in Rhino. And now it's time to bring it into Unity. Since I saved it into the subtree of the asset folder, when I switch back over to Unity, it detects these new things and is loading. We got to find where I put it. And here is. Now we're going to take a look at the mesh. And so the mesh is only 300, a little over 300 vertices. So that's pretty good. Something that's got for something that's got curves in it. Okay. Now, you see how it's not centered on my thing. It's because, okay, so when I export without an origin, then it's going to use Rhino's world 0 position, which is indicated where the green line and the red line meet, right there. Okay, so that's the center. And I'm offset the same, so when I exported it, it keeps that same distance from center. And I want that for the way I'm designing this game. You may not always want that. And if that case, you might want to export with origin 0 or put the object there at the center. Now, when I exported it, it came with a material for Rhino, but I can't edit that in Unity. So I clicked on it, hit Control D to make a copy of it, and now the material's out of it, and now I can reapply it to the model. Okay, I'm going to rename these real quick so it doesn't conflict with another piece that I already did. Okay. Okay. That is now I'm going to apply the material that I made a copy of, which is the same that came with the model, but now since it's not part of the object, I can edit it. Okay, so here's how it looks with just a regular map on it, just a color, base color or albedo or whatever you want to call it, just a regular color map on it. Let's go to Substance Painter now. We're going to give this a lot more pop. And I've been working with Rhino for years and years and years. I know it pretty well. Substance Painter, this is brand new to me. I've only been working with it for a few days, but I'm already loving it. Except for the issue of not being able to import 3DS files. It's badass. Alright, so let's grab our FBX version of the hinge. Get rid of this window here. Okay. And yeah, so we can import it with some pre-built configurations. We really should probably do, since we're not Unity 5 anymore, we're utilizing Unity 2018, but we'll just go ahead and do Unity 5. I've already designed a material for iron, and I just go ahead and apply it. And how does that look? Pretty shiny. Now we're going to bake. I don't know much about the baking options in this right now, so I'm just going to use the defaults. And that's going to give me a whole bunch of the extra mappings that we need. Alright, so I've got this little tool I've kind of designed already. It's just a regular paint tool. Now I've got it's going to want to create a layer before I can start doing anything. Now if I just start painting on it normally, you see I'm painting on all layers. So I'm going to turn off color. So I've got color, height, rough, metal, and normal. I'm going to turn off everything but height, rough, and normal. We're going to paint that on there. Okay, you see that? Look at that. So those look like maybe some rivets in it. So you see how that pops out? Now that's just part of the texture mapping. That's just the normal and height map texture mapping going on there. That's not extra polygons. And that's what I'm And that's what I've been missing. That's what I've been teaching myself here this last week, is how to do this type of stuff. So I put extra detail on there without on other models without having to drive up the polygon count in the scene massively to just get little details like this. This is, to me, this is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. All right, that's looking more like a medieval iron forged hinge. Okay, but you know, we could make this even look a little bit more 3D-ish. We'll make this pop a little bit more. And this was a trick I've been working on the last couple of nights here. I'm going to go to normal, and I'm going to grab, let's see here. This is the one I was working with. All right, so basically, let's see here. I'm going to make the brush bigger. So it's just a line. And see, what do we want to do? I'm going to turn metal on. So when I stamp it, it's also going to put a metal on there. I'm just going to see what's happening. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to go up to paste that. And I'm going to turn the brush size on all the way. But, you know, this isn't giving me the effect I want. I'm going to turn the flow down. And that's going to spread it out farther. Okay, so we'll go down here. And so the line, so this is going to make it longer. But, man, it's just still not long enough. I want it to go across the entire length. From point to end, I want this effect. Okay. But I've kind of maxed out my controls. Or have I? Have I maxed out the controls? Let's see here. Let's turn this to 200, which is twice the length of what the thing will actually allow. And pow, there it is. So it actually will exceed its limits on some of them. The ones that go up to 1, yeah, it doesn't work to try to set them to 2, but it'll definitely go to 11. All right, let's see here. We can make. I want that to be a little bit more defined all the way across. So let's go to 300. Boom. Okay, just got to find the spot and just keep hitting redo until I get and nudging it till I get it to where I want it. Okay. Yes, I had to edit something out. That's okay. All right, so maybe I want to have like where the end here meets with the turning part of the hinge, the actual hinge part. This is just really a flange. I'm going to use Shift. I'm going to click a point. I'm going to hold Shift down and then draw this line and then let go. Boom. Okay. All right. That looks good. I mean, it's forged iron. It's not supposed to look great. I mean, this is like a pristine medieval blacksmith. For a blacksmith, this would have been pristine. Here, it's so smooth. So, you know, so maybe I'll take this brush and I'll just put some. Well, I don't want to. I'll lower the height into the negatives, and then I'll put this on. You know, I just kind of brush some of this on, so it just kind of looks, you know, it's got some divots and stuff and some imperfections. And, you know, I may make 2 or 3 versions of this where I've got one good-looking one and then one just got some of this crap on it. You know, so they don't always. So not all of them look exactly the same. So they would share all of the same maps. They would and the model, except for maybe the normal map that has this crap on it. And I would just swap out the normal maps in the game, maybe even procedurally. All right, let's go ahead and export. And really, for something this small, I really should just be exporting out like by 512 instead of 1024. That's like 512 is like a fourth the file size, and this is something small. It's part of a door. It's not like a whole door. If I was doing the whole door, I'd probably do it by 2000. Okay, now let's jump over into Unity. All right. So there's the material. There's the base color. We're going to plug that in. Height map, metal, which I may take that off. The occlusion, which is just really white for this, so I don't even know. Okay, and the normal map and the height map is what makes it pop. Alright, so we're going to maybe turn this down a little bit. Okay, alright, what are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? Let's look at this end. Look at that. Look at that. Like just a few minutes in Substance Painter, we've given this a lot more detail with very little cost to performance. Negligible. Especially when we combine these textures into a atlas, which I'll cover in another video. But the next video I'd like to do is how to work with DAZ characters in Unity. There's some, with the Genesis 8 character, there's some really streamlined functionality straight from DAZ into Unity, including blend shapes, and I'll go over all that in the next video. Stay tuned.